Welcome everyone again.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome again.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you, Dr. Carol? We would like to welcome everyone again to the Lebanon IoT Challenge Demo Day. I think that some people are joining us for the first time. So we just want to give you or introduce you briefly about the challenge. The Lebanon IoT and AI Challenge is actually a capacity building and a pre-incubation program للuniversity students and the startups اللي عندهم innovative ideas in the areas of IoT and AI. Lebanon IoT and AI Challenge actually it is launching for the first time in Lebanon, but it's part of a bigger challenge, which is the Arab IoT and AI Challenge. Arab IoT and AI Challenge takes place in several countries, including 9 Arabic countries, and now it's expanding towards Africa, which is actually really exciting to see Arabs are taking initiatives to start many events about IoT and AI. So this year we started with 2 tracks. عم نحكي here in Lebanon, which are the graduation project and the startups. أكيد in the upcoming years, inshallah, we will be targeting كمان high school students. So our mission as a summary is to stimulate and help to build ecosystem to support أي Lebanese innovation-based economy من خلال إنه نحن we can help in strategizing, in facilitation, and in promoting innovation on entrepreneurship. And we create intellectual property for the people who have capacities and ideas in the fields of IoT and AI. And actually, this mission is not just words that we share. This mission is something that we are working truly to achieve. And that's why this year we are affiliated with the GITEX Technology Week, the largest and the most influential tech show for the last 41 years. The winners from each track will get free tickets to Dubai for a 3 days long stay with a full coverage, accommodation, transportation, and catering. In addition, definitely to other things, that this is all for free. The winners will get free technical mentorship. They will access IoT and AI Arab communities. They will get access to international conferences, and most importantly, they will get the possibility to meet top-notch companies networking such as Intel, AWS, and Google. So definitely we are not alone in that. We want to make sure that we thank our partners. We will start with the IEEE community in Lebanon, IEEE Lebanon section, Women in Engineering, IEEE Young Professionals, IEEE Computer Society. Special thanks go to Dr. Bashar Al-Hassan, Dr. Walid Karam, Dr. Sarah Abu Shakra, Dr. Carol Basil, Dr. Nadine Abbas, Professor Roni Daraze, Ms. Lynn Sidawi, Ms. Sibel Ghanem, and Mr. Harut Topjian. Another thank you goes to Beirut Digital District and especially to Mr. Ralph Khairallah. And a huge thanks to Beirut AI and Zaka communities who are always supporting us, especially to Mr. Chris Zogbi, Ms. Larissa Abinakhli, and Ms. Dalia Raidan. We would also like to thank Microsoft for Startups, also for always working with us into promoting this challenge. And special thanks goes to Mr. Roberto Croci and Noor Salama. Another great thank you is saved for 2 people who were helping us a lot in this event. Special thanks go to Mr. Hussein Mustafa Azaldin, Project Manager for Egypt IoT and AI Challenge, and the Vice President for the Arab IoT and AI Challenge. Also, we would like to thank Mr. Rudy Shoshani. Rudy is also one of our judges. Rudy is a fintech digital transformation and expert, a speaker, a mentor, and the founder of DX Talks. So thank you again, and thanks for DX Talks for the great effort that has been done so far. To start this demo day, we will start with a speech that I'm personally very excited about with Dr. Manal Jalloul. Dr. Manal will be talking about the role of AI in healthcare and in education. Dr. Manal Jalloul is NVIDIA Deep Learning Institute certified instructor and university ambassador. She is also the co-founder and the CEO of AI Lab, which is a lab that provides specialized hands-on training and consulting services in the fields of artificial intelligence, accelerated computing, and data analytics. Dr. Jalloul is also a member of the Global Advisory Board of the International Group of Artificial Intelligence and representing Lebanon in the world's fastest growing community for artificial intelligence. Dr. Jalloul is also a lecturer and a researcher at the American University of Beirut. Her research interests are in the fields of digital image and video processing, 3D printing, parallel computing, and artificial intelligence. She has several peer-reviewed publications in international journals and conferences. Dr. Manal, welcome again, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Sarah, for the introduction, and hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So I'm going to start sharing my screen, my presentation. So I hope you can all see my screen. So again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sarah, for having me in the meetup today. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. So today I'm going to be talking about the role of AI in healthcare and education. So today we are seeing artificial intelligence everywhere. AI is fueling innovation in all industries. It is, kicking off a transformation, changing the way things are working and how things are being done across different industries, from agriculture to retail, manufacturing, sales, security, you name it. Today, we're going to be shedding the light on the roles of AI in healthcare and education. So as a start, in healthcare, AI is actually paving the way for a new era there. Healthcare today is demanding new computing paradigms in order to meet the need for personalized medicine, next generation clinics, enhanced quality of care, and breakthroughs in medical research to treat diseases. With the advancements in AI, healthcare institutions can now harness the power of artificial intelligence and high-performance computing in order to define and reshape the field of medicine. So in terms of drug discovery, from searching a seemingly endless molecule database to simulating how these molecules interact inside the human body's complex biochemistry, AI-powered solutions today are enabling pharmaceutical companies to improve analysis and efficiency as well as scalability. Today, AI is also enabling a new class of software-defined intelligent tools in hospitals. AI-powered temperature sensors for screening staff and patients, intelligent video feeds to flag patient distress, maybe speech recognition for inputting patient data into electronic medical records, conversational AI to explain procedures, and much more are helping to optimize the efficiency in healthcare and in hospitals. AI-powered solutions are also simplifying the lives of radiologists, accelerating workflows, and providing a second set of eyes with less bias. From segmenting lesions, calculating blood pressure, detecting nodules, are just some of the benefits that the AI is bringing on the table to medical imaging. For education, we are also entering a new era, paving the way for a lot of advancements in that field. So as you know, learning is not a one-size-fits-all approach, and what works for one person may not work for a peer. This is why vendors and major players in the field of education have seen such huge benefits that the AI can bring to assist with learning and education. So in education, AI is revolutionizing that field in different ways, like bringing in smart content. AI tools can condense the contents of textbooks into a more summarized study guide. Interactive tutoring. AI can help tutor students and provide real-time feedback. Adaptive learning environments are now enabled by AI, where AI can act as a personalized learning companion, adapting to each student and can help to automate and speed up teachers' tasks. Maybe an AI system can help grade up homeworks, evaluate essays, and measure students' responses. In terms of curriculum material, AI can design digital curriculum and content across a variety of devices. So just to sum it up, AI is creating the hype. It is kicking off a huge transformation across different industries, and we're seeing a great benefit of AI, especially in the fields of education and retail and healthcare. So it is about time to tap into AI. With that, thank you all for having me today, and thank you, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Manal. That was truly engaging and truly inspiring. As Dr. Manal was sharing, AI is now into the fields in healthcare and in education, and not on one level only. So I will take it from where Dr. Manal stopped. I think, yes, it's time to tap into AI, and that's why this challenge exists, to give the Lebanese potentials a chance to be a part of this ecosystem. So thank you once again.
Most welcome, Sarah. Thank you.
Thanks again to Dr. Manal. And now it's time to start with our pitching event. We have 5 teams that will be pitching with us today. At first, I would like to welcome the judging panel. I would like to welcome at first the judges, Dr. Carol Bassir, an associate professor at Lebanese University. She's an experienced associate professor with a demonstrated history of teaching research in the higher education industry. Dr. Carol is skilled in pre-sales, post-sales, and in networking and network security. She has a strong educational professional with a DU in quality assurance in higher education, focused in pedagogy from Université Saint Joseph de Beirut. I would like also to welcome Engineer Gabriel Diek. Hello, Engineer Gabriel. We didn't have the chance to tell you hello at first. Engineer Gabriel is an experienced general manager, serial entrepreneur with a demonstrated history of working in the information technology and services industry. He is skilled in negotiation, business planning, analytical skills, team leadership, and entrepreneurship. He has a strong sales professional with a master's degree focused in electrical engineering from EUSIP, École Supérieure d'Ingénieurs de Beirut. Let's also welcome Mr. Mahdi Zaidi. Mr. Mahdi is joining us from abroad, and we are very happy to have you with us. Mahdi is experienced in financial services. He's a financial services consultant with a demonstrated history of working in the financial services industry. He has a strong finance professional. He's skilled in banking and credit analysis, credit cards, commercial banking, and credit risks. He's also the managing partner of Cube3 Global. Hello again to Dr. Muna. Welcome, Dr. Muna. Dr. Muna is also one of our judges. She's a renowned public speaker as a woman social entrepreneur and a change maker from Lebanon. She's an assistant professor of entrepreneurship at the Alayan School of Business at AUB. And as part of her research work, she is a published author on entrepreneurship, women, ethics, and engineering education. She became an entrepreneur after several years of community work, where she served as a chair of IEEE Women in Engineering Lebanon section and co-chair of Arab WIC from 2015 till 2018, where she co-founded Girls Got IT and trained over 3,000 girls on technology and engineering. In 2017, Dr. Muna founded Riyada for Social Innovation, which is a social enterprise that is a thought leader on social innovation and entrepreneurship, providing high-quality training and unique innovation programs. And in 2020, she also scaled the operations through Shabab Lab. Dr. Muna is a She Entrepreneurs Fellow starting 2017 and a U.S. Department of State Professional Fellow in Washington, D.C. She has also been selected as an Unleash Talent in Shenzhen 2019 and as Unleash Plus Entrepreneur in 2020. In 2021, she was a finalist in the prestigious WE Empowered Challenge. And last but not least, we have Mr. Rudy Shoshani. Welcome again, Mr. Rudy. Rudy has over 21 years of experience in the financial sector. He's specialized in the financial technology transformation. His specialties are in ICT, corporate governance, risk and compliance, cybersecurity, and digital transformation. He has graduated from Stanford University with cybersecurity strategies and from UNISA in computer science. He's an awarded as an executive leadership by PwC. He's a certified professional with many achievements and awards. He's the host and the moderator of the DX Talk series, talking about digital transformation. He's an region and at the Union of Arab Banks, UAB. He's also a member of the executive board and coordinator of Strategy Committee in Digital Transformation Network, DTN. He's a board member and the chair of ICT Governance Committee in Information Systems. He's a senior ICT advisor for Lebanese IT Syndicate. He's also a coach and mentor for different NGOs, startups, and hackathons. Recently, Mr. Rudy was selected as top 50 global thought leader and influencer in technology field. He's a trainer also in emerging technology, fintech, and digital transformation. We have a great pool of judges, and we are very excited to start listening to the team's pitching. So welcome again, our judges. And we will start with the first team, which is X-Community and the founder, Khalil Samour. Khalil, please feel free to share your screen.
Hello.
Welcome, Khalil.
سامعيني؟
Yes, we can hear you.
بس في مشكلة عندي بالفيديو، عم بحاول أدور الكاميرا.
Okay, Khalil, no problem. You can just share your screen if you have a presentation.
Yes.
Okay, great.
بعمل شير هلا.
Yes, it's shared.
السلام معكم خليل سمور. حاحكي عن ستارت اب اكس كوميونيتي. اول شيء بس حاحكي العناوين اللي حاحكي فيها خلال هالبرزنتيشن. اول شيء حاعملكم انتروداكشن عن ستارت اب، بعدين حاحكي لكم عن الفيتشرز، بعدين حاحكي عن ناحيه البزنس للستارت اب، بعدين حاحكي لكم ليش لازم تختاروا هذا المشروع وليش لازم تختاروني. اول شيء اكس كوميونيتي هي بلاتفورم معموله لكل مدرسه، يعني مثلا مدرسه امجاد عندها امجاد كوميونيتي، هي مكونه من ويب سايت موبايل ابلكيشن موجوده على كل الديفايسز، اندرويد ابل لابتوب كل شيء، والويب سايت اكيد ريسبونسيف. هيدي البلاتفورم عندها اهداف تعليميه، وعندها اهداف ثقافيه ابداعيه، وعندها اهداف اجتماعيه ونفسيه. مثل ما قلنا هيدا البورت اللي بيتكون منه الويب سايت، في عندنا educational enlightenment والسوشيال والسايكولوجيكال بورت. اول شيء حنحكي عن بورت educational. كلنا مرقنا بجائحه كورونا، وخلال هالجائحه مرق شيء اسمه تعليم اونلاين. بهذا التعليم اونلاين انخلق ماده الكترونيه من فيديوهات برزنتيشن كل شيء يعني المنهج الدراسي. صح نحن بنصير كثير سلبيا من الجائحه نفسيا اقتصاديا الى اخره، بس طبعا نحن لازم نحول هذا التهديد ونطلع منه فرص ونستفيد من هذه الداتا كلها اللي انعملت. فنحن حنستخدم داتا بيز المدرسه، يعني افترض المدرسه كانت عم ترفع الفيديوهات على يوتيوب او على حيلا داتا بيز، حنعمل لينك من خلال الامبيد كود نعملها لعنا على البلاتفورم. كمان بالاديوكيشنال في السمريز، التلاميذ لما يكون الاستاذ عم يشرح عم يكتبوا نوتس عندهم، بس في تلاميذ بيكتبوا نوتس بشكل مرتب واحترافي، في تلاميذ بيكتبوا بشكل ابدا مش مرتب. فهاي البلاتفورم حتسمح انه اي واحد يرفع سمري لتعملوه في ريتنج سيستم. انت كتلميذ قادر تعمل ريتنج للسمري اللي عم تشوفه، كمان اللي بعدك يجي يفوت على التوب ريتنج وما يضيع وقته. وفي عندنا الكويستشن سكشن بالاديوكيشنال بورد كمان، حيلا حدا قادر يسال سؤال، التلاميذ الباقيين قادرين يجاوبوه، كمان الاساتذه قادرين يجاوبوه. وفي عندنا شغله بالاديوكيشنال بورد انه في شيء البوينت سيستم. كل ما حدا يعمل انسر لكويستشن او حدا ينشر سمري حنعطيه بوينتس، يعني حسب كل مدرسه تقرر يعني على عدد بوينتس شو المكافاه تكون. هلا خلينا نقول لجزء الانلايتمنت هو الثقافي والابداعي. الله خلقنا بذكاءات متعدده، يعني هي طبيعه البشر، في اللي عنده ذكاء رياضي واللي عنده ذكاء لغوي واللي عنده ذكاء موسيقي. بس للاسف المدرسه معموله لنوع واحد من الذكاءات، هدول الاشخاص اللي ذكيه بالفيزياء والكيمياء والماث، هيضلوا طاقاتهم كلها وحيبدوا فيها ونحن مساعدين، بالعكس هذا شيء كثير منيح. بس اما بالنسبه لباقي التلاميذ اللي ما عندهم هدول الذكاءات، عندهم ذكاءات ثانيه هدول عم يكونوا مصممين بهاي المدرسه بالمواد اللي عم تنعطى لهم. مش يعني هن فاشلين، بالعكس هن عندهم طاقات. ممكن واحد منهم يصير فيلم ميكر، موسيقي، ممكن يصير ممثل، ممكن يصير مغني. فنحن بهاي البلاتفورم قررنا نعمل لكل اهم الاهتمامات، يعني الاهتمامات الاساسيه اللي عند البشر برات مواد المدرسه نعمل لهم مجتمع صغير. يعني لنفترض شاب يعني مثلا حابب يفوت بمجال البرمجه، شو بيعمل؟ حيروح على الكوميونتي. بالمناسبه هاي البلاتفورم انا عامل جزء كثير كبير، جزء كبير منها مبرمج. حيروح على هاي الكوميونتي على جزء الانلايتمنت، متفقين نحن بجزء الانلايتمنت. حينزل على مجتمع تكنولوجي، حيفوت على مجتمع تكنولوجي. حيحط I want to start learning Python. Please mention for me best courses to start in Python. هيعمل اد لهاي البوست. بعدين حيجي شخص ثاني ممكن يكون عنده خبرة بالموضوع، حيشوف طيب حيشوف هيدا البوست تبعه، حيفوت عليه، حيكتب له مثلا I recommend for you zero web school playlist، وبحط له لينك وبيعمل بوست كومنت. هاي مثال بسيط عن الكومنت. خلينا نشوف البرزنتيشن. او مثلا نفترض ساره بتحب تعمل فيديوهات على اليوتيوب، فممكن تسال عن موضوع الاضاءه، عن موضوع المونتاج، ممكن حدا يكون يقدر يفيدك. كمان بالانلايتمنت سكشن في عندنا جزء الايفنتس اللي مقسم الى قسمين: الاوفيشال ايفنتس والان اوفيشال ايفنتس. الاوفيشال ايفنتس هي المدرسه بتعملها، اللي فقط اكونتات التيشرز والبرنسبلز قادرين يعملوا بوست بالاوفيشال ايفنتس. وفي الان اوفيشال ايفنتس للتلاميذ اللي حينشروهم. مثلا نفترض الاوفيشال ايفنت المدرسه بدها تشارك مباراه العلوم، حتعمل بوست انه نحن بدنا نشارك بمباراه العلوم بالموضوع كذا كذا. مين بحب من التلاميذ يفوت يشارك، بيقدروا يعملوا هن ريكوست او مشاركه، ويبعثوا ديسكربشن ويبعثوا الديسكربشن تبعولتهم. او مثلا نفترض الان اوفيشال ايفنتس حدا من التلاميذ هو فيلم ميكر بحب يعمل افلام، فبده 5 ممثلين، بيعمل بوست انه بدي 5 ممثلين هيدي المواصفات، وبصير يتلقى يعني ريكوست انه هيدا من هيدا الصف بده يشارك معك بالتمثيل. وهون في جزء دخلنا الاي اي بالموضوع والماشين ليرنينج، انه نفترض قبل ما يجي يعمل جات بوست انه انا بدي 5 ممثلين، كان في حدا قبل عامل انه بدي 10 ممثلين، وطلع مع الماشين ليرنينج انه اغلب اللي عم بيقدموا على هيدي الفيلم بدهم يمثلوا فيه هن من مجتمع الفيديو كريشن، لانه الفيديو كريشن بيطلع كثير قدام الكاميرا وما عنده مشكله بالموضوع. فالماشين ليرنينج حيصير يعمل له ريكومنديشن لجات انه قول كذا كذا اللي هو بالكوميونتي اوف فيديو كريشن انه يجي ويمثل معك. هلا بدنا نحكي على اخر اسم بهيدي البلاتفورم اللي هو الاسم النفسي والاسم الاجتماعي. التلاميذ بالمدرسه واضح يعني كلنا بنعرف انه في كثير عم بيواجهوا من زمان وعم بيواجهوا هلا مشاكل نفسيه ومشاكل اجتماعيه. اكبر مشكله بالموضوع انه هن يا اما ما عندهم الثقه بالمدرسه عشان يحكي، يا اما بيسكتوا بغض النظر عن السبب مش عم يحكوا. فنحن قررنا بهاي البلاتفورم نعمل اسم شوي سري. يعني خليني اعطي مثال عن قصه يعني مشان تفهموا شو هو هذا الاسم. يعني هاي ريان عندها مشكله انه هي جديده على المدرسه وما عندها رفقه، عم بتضلها تحس بالوحده ويعني كثير زهقانه بالمدرسه وكئيبه. فهي حتجي على قسم السوشيال سايكولوجيكال بالبلاتفورم وحتعمل بوست لمشكلتها. اسمها مش حيكون موجود ولا حينقل على الداتابيز، وهي عارفه انه اسمها مش حيكون موجود. كمان هي مش حيكون موجود بالبوست اللي حتعمله هي اي صف وهي اي شعبه، بس نحن على الداتابيز حنقدر هي اي صف واي شعبه لانه نحن معنا معلوماتها. فالمهم بعد ما ناخذ هاي الداتا حنعطيها للمرشد، بس المرشد التربوي بيقدر ياخذ هيدي الداتا. بعد ما ياخذ هيدي الداتا هو بيعمل التصرف اللازم. يعني مثلا عرف انه هي بصف ال10 حيروح على صف ال10 على علمة العربي، الا علمة العربي، الا انه انت تصير اعملي تيم بروجكتس، تيم ورك، عشان هي تنخرط كتيم ورك، تصير فرصه انه تكون صداقات جديده اكثر. هلا نحكي عن ناحيه البزنس. نحن تعاطينا بهاي البلاتفورم بشكل اساسي حيكون مع مدراء المدارس.
Khalil, sorry for interrupting, but you crossed your time in pitching. Okay, so please.
خلصت بس دقيقه بس دقيقه بس.
Okay, good.
اول شيء بالبزنس بيساعدنا انه هاي الفكره واضحه وسهله، سهله للشرح، مش معقده، لانه هي فكره تستهدف موضوع اجتماعي الكل قادر يستوعبه. ثاني شيء بالبزنس انه هاي انت عم تعطي المدير مشكله ملموسه، يعني هو عنده مشكله بالمدرسه عم بيفتش على حل، انت عم تعطيه الحل، فهاي حيزيد فرصه انه يقبل بالبلاتفورم. بونس على ذلك نحن زدنا educational section. انا كتلميذ مدرسه اكيد مش هيخطر على بالي زيد educational section لاني ما بحبش كثير يعني المدرسه واعمل فوضى والى اخره، بس هاي الاديوكيشنال section كثير حتجذب المدراء والمسؤولين بالمدرسه، لانه حترفع المعدل يعني الاكاديمي للتلاميذ، حتزيد لهم علاماتهم. كيف حنبلش ننشر هاي البلاتفورم؟ اول شيء حنكون عاملين سعر رخيص اللي هو بس سعر الداتابيز وسعر السيرفر واشهر الاشخاص اللي حيكونوا قائمين على البلاتفورم سبورت يعني. فما حيكون في لا تكلفه ربح ولا شيء، حنعطيهم لمجموعه مدارس، بعد ما نعطيهم لهي المجموعه المدارس ناخذ منهم فيدباك، حنطور المشروع شوي وبعدين نبلش نبيعه للمدارس الباقيه داخل لبنان، بصير نروح على المدرسه نعطيها الاناليسيس اللي طلعناه من المدارس الباقيين، وبعدين اخيرا حنعمله للعالم كله، حيصير اكس كوميونتي، كل واحد بيعمل كود بيعمل كريت مدرسته بيفتح الاشتراك بالبلاتفورم. اخر نقطه بدي احكي انه ليش لازم تختاروا هذا المشروع، ليش تختاروني؟ نحن هلا حاليا بعصر الارتفيشال انتليجنس والماشين ليرنينج، الكل عم بيحاول يعمل اشياء كثير، بس في شغله اذا انتبهتوا الكل يعني عم بيحاول يعمل اشياء مش على الجانب الانساني، الجانب الانساني عم ينهمل، الجانب الانساني عم يندسى، عم يعملوا مثلا سيارات بتسوق لحالها، ايلون ماسك هلا بلش عم يشتغل بالروبوت اللي بيساعدنا بالاشياء العمليه، بينما الجانب النفسي والاجتماعي مش عم ينعمل. حتى الاشخاص اللي بيدعوا انهم عم يعملوا اشياء تساعد بالجانب الاجتماعي والانساني، مثل مارك زوكربيرج اللي هو عم يخلينا نأمن على المواقع اللي عنده اياها، هدول كمان عم بيكسبوا. فنحن عاملين شيء اجتماعي وانساني بيساعد الانسان، وهذا شيء كثير مهم بهذا العصر. اخر شغله انه الاشياء اللي انا بقدر اساعد فيها مشان ينجح هذا المشروع، ينجح هذا الستارت اب، من خلال انه انا عامل ديمو شبه كامل وبقدر اكفيه بعد ليصير كامل 100%. ثانيا عندي مهاره الفيديو اديتنج، بقدر اعمل فيديو بروموشن للفيديو، حتى عامل بروموشن للفيديو قبل الويب سايتات، هلا بعطيكم لينك على الزوم ميتنج. ثالثا حارفع الويب سايت على الانترنت، حيكون يعني الحكم اللي جاي مثلا بده يشوف الويب سايت بده يقيمه، حقول له فيك تفتحه على تليفونك، فيك تفتحه على لابتوبك، وبس بتشكر فيه الجادجز وبتشكر كثير.
Thank you very much, Khalil. Thank you again. It's to mention that Khalil is only 17 years old and he had this courage to apply to the startups track. So we'll leave it to the judges now. Judges, please feel free to comment.
I have a question for Khalil. Yeah, I didn't get how you're implementing AI or IoT in this solution.
Okay. انا قلت كنت عم بعطي مثال عن شخص بده يستخدم هاي البلاتفورم لانه بده يعمل فيلم، بس هو عندوش هالمعرفه، هذا تلميذ مدرسي، هو حيستعين بتلاميذ مدرسي معه من غير صفوف من خلال هاي البلاتفورم. اجى لنفترض الشخص اول مره بده يعمل فيلم، بده 5 ممثلين. هلا البلاتفورم لاحظت انه 3 من هدول ال5 ممثلين هن حاطين انه الانترست تاعولهم فيديو كرييشن. ثاني مره بيجي شخص بده يعمل فيلم، لو افترض بده 7 ممثلين، نحن حنعمل له ريكومنديشن انه احكي مع الاشخاص تبع الفيديو كرييشن اللي عاملين انترست فيديو كرييشن، عشان الفيديو كرييشن مثلا هن بيطلعوا قدام الكاميرا وبيحكوا كثير فعندهم الجرأه. فهنا يعني حنسهل الموضوع من خلال التجربه، يعني حيعمل انالايز، حيصير يعطيه داتا للشخص الجديد اللي حيجي. طبعا الانتليجنس مش حتكون شغاله من اول شيء، بعد كذا بوست وبعد كذا تجربه بس يصير عندنا الداتا اللازمه حيصير موجوده، حيصير يعمل ريكومنديشن.
Thank you, Khalil. We will go to, thank you, Dr. Muna. Do you have any other question? We can go to Mr. Gabi, Mr. Rudy, Dr. Carol, Mr. Mahdi, please feel free to ask.
Hello.
Hello again.
I have a question for Khalil. While searching on the network, on the internet, there is already an X community website. What's the difference between yours and this website?
There is a domain name which is X community or
X community, yes. .eu. It's posting
اسم اكس كوميونتي بس ما في ولا بلاتفورم بالعالم بتقدم نفس الفيتشرز اللي عندنا اياها ما عدا قسمنا الاديوكيشنال بسبب كورونا طلعت كثير بلاتفورم ما في ولا وحده بتعمل الشيء الثقافي الابداعي ولا شيء بالنفسي. ممكن الاسم متشابه بس انا قلت اكس كوميونتي مش هو اسم الدومين نيم. انا قلت انه مثلا امجاد بدها تشتري البلاتفورم حيصير اسمها امجاد كوميونتي حسب كل مدرسه.
Okay, thank you.
Other judges, would you like to comment?
Yes, I have a question, Sarah. Khalil, well done. I think for a 17-year-old, you're doing a great job. The question I have is that who specifically are your targets, and are you going to limit as to what they can do on there? Is it teenagers? Is it what age group are you looking to target?
اتوقع انه اكثر شيء حتكون فعالة على الهاي سكول ستودنتس بس هي بتستهدف جميع الفئات العمريه. بس انا بشكل اساسي كنت عامل بلاتفورم للهاي سكول ستودنتس اللي نجربها بعدين طبعا فينا نعملها للابتدائي وللمتوسط بس طبعا مع بعض المتغيرات بس حاليا هي للهاي سكول ستودنتس لانه هن يعني المشاكل الاساسيه الافتراض النفسيه والاجتماعيه اكثر شيء بتكون قاسيه عندهم. هي اول شيء حستهدفهم بعدين حنقول للفئات العمريه.
Khalil, I'll try just to translate. Mahdi Khalil is saying that he is mainly okay. Mahdi is an English speaker, so Khalil is saying that he will be targeting high school students because they mainly have these psychological and social problems.
Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate that.
Thank you. And last two questions. We have a question from Engineer Gabriel. He's asking, what is your unique selling proposition or your USP? Before going to Rudy.
يوضح السؤال بيحكي عربي هو؟
Yes, تفضل خليل.
بيحكي عربي هو؟ في وضح السؤال بس عشان أعرف شو جاوب.
Yes, خليل.
أنا فهمت السؤال. فهمت السؤال بس إذا في يشرح.
Your USP, your unique selling proposition. يعني in other terms, why would someone choose your platform and not another one?
أول شيء لأنه ما في بلاتفورم متكاملة مثل البلاتفورم اللي عندنا. ثانياً عم بعطيه حلول للمشاكل اللي عنده يعني الأشياء اللي عم بتمثل التلاميذ من مدرسته عم بعطيه حلول لها. ثالثاً عم بخلق له جو كثير رائع بين التلاميذ. يعني عم خلي التلاميذ يحبوا مدرسته يصيروا درستهم انه يروحوا على المدرسه يتعرفوا على الاشخاص اللي فيها.
Okay, I don't know if this answers Engineer Gabriel's question. Unfortunately, we are running out of time because you crossed your time, Khalil, but we still have one question from Rudy or comment.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to tell Khalil, just keep on, you're young, keep on amazing us in the future. But I want you to make, for another time, the presentation a little bit clearer, because I think we all did not understand what is your model in a sense, in a real sense. Who are your competition and all of this? I know time was flying, but to make it easier for us to understand in the future. If I understood correctly, it's a platform by the students, for the students, for university, let's say, services that can help. And with that, we use AI to kind of match, right? Where are you in the development?
Thank you very much. Yes, somehow, as you said, but it have more than section. The enlightenment section, which is the section that cares about the talents and the power inside the students, have AI and connect students with each other, and makes community for them. If I'm interested in video creation, I can post about lighting, I can ask about video editing. And then we have the educational section, which is not only for by students for students. It's by students and teachers for students and teachers. And the psychological and social section. It is with the help of the مش التربوي بالإنجليزي شو with the help for the students.
Yeah, I saw a demo, but where are you in the development?
I finished 50-60% of the website, and I can upload it to the internet and send you a link.
Did you depend with your AI? Did you depend on data? Where did you get the data from to simulate and work on all of this?
Till now, there is no artificial intelligence, no machine learning, but the educational section is done, enlightenment section is done.
Okay, good luck.
And I am working I'm working in the section of social and psychological section.
Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you, Khalil. Thank you very much.
I have just a very quick comment, Sarah, if you may allow me. So my students know me, I'm a bit harsh in terms of my feedback, and I think this is good for the students, honestly. I think, Khalil, you presented too many solutions to too many problems, and if you want to be realistic, yes, I mean, you can create this website that we can demo, which is not a problem, but if you really want to be as good as you want to be in all of these domains, you cannot do this all at once. So if you really are looking forward to implement this, you need to focus right now on one of the 4 or 5 components that you pitched, and do that really, really well. And then later on, you keep adding more and more. But because this is too much work to be done, not on the technical level, but because it's not just the website, it's so much more than that. And you're going to know what I'm talking about as you proceed in the implementation process. So my 2 cents for you is focus on one thing you believe is needed and you can do really, really well. And then the others will come with time. And you don't need to answer me on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Muna. Yes, the comment is on point, I believe. Thank you again, Khalil, and best of luck. We will be discussing definitely with the judges based on the judging criteria. But now we will move to the second pitch with Jose Mallah. Jose is the founder of Aquatricity, and she will be now pitching her work for the judges. Jose, please, you can start sharing your screen.
Hello, everyone. First, so as Sarah introduced me, I started Aquatricity a little over a year ago, and I would like to pitch it today in front of you. So, just enter full screen. Okay. I'm gonna confess something to you. I haven't been a great daughter towards my mother. But in fact, I'm not talking about my own mother. I'm talking about Mother Earth. We are excessively, inefficiently consuming our resources. Every year in Lebanon, we are extracting 200 million cubic meters of groundwater, which exceeds the nature's regeneration capacity. And our energy consumption is annually increasing by around 6%, which exceeds our socioeconomic growth rates. And therefore, we need an urgent solution, which starts with a behavior change. So here comes Aquatricity. Aquatricity is a combination of software and hardware that helps the user optimize his water and energy consumption. And this is therefore an IoT-based approach to the problem. The user downloads the mobile app, signs up, and starts receiving daily tips and trivia games that increases awareness on the topic of resource preservation. And meanwhile, the user is collecting points for the household's balance because all the family's accounts are linked together. And so, by collecting more points and getting on top of the leaderboard, the user is eligible to get a smart meter for either water or electricity. And here where IoT comes. So a smart meter is connected to the internet, and so it can measure your actual consumption and upload these values to the cloud, where algorithms can intervene to compare these values against the optimal levels, and therefore we could give the user solution suggestions to optimize his consumption. We are targeting the residential sector because it is the most energy consuming sector in Lebanon and the second most water consuming sector after agriculture. And reducing your electricity consumption is two-way beneficial because it reduces your bills, which is of course great and urgently needed currently in Lebanon. And from another perspective, it reduces our carbon footprint, which is even better for our Mother Earth. Strategic priorities have that were identified at a water forum at AUB also align with our view and actually our solution, because they declared that smart metering and awareness raising are important steps to the solution. And this is what we actually do. So we can say that Aquatricity is being right to the point. Looking into competition, Aquatricity is the first of its kind in Lebanon and the MENA region. In fact, we have some competition on the international levels, but those who share most of the options we provide are abroad and even do not cover all the features. So as you can see, we have a special combination of features allowing us to stand out, including the educational vibe, the fact that the meters, which are the hardware, are included, and we also suggest solutions. So although there are big companies that manufacture smart meters in the market, we are able to differentiate ourselves from them with the multitude and the variety of services we offer. And this is what we will highlight later in this presentation when talking about our goals. So looking into financials, our costs include the application, the development, and the hardware purchase, while our income streams include paid subscriptions, little charges, ads, and grants, and of course, profit on selling solutions. And so our meters, we have started prototyping them. So here you can see a video and a shot. So we have the prototypes of them. We are using a very simple technology, which really allows us to differentiate ourselves and go towards our goals, which are first to make a socio-environmental impact by making the awareness raising and the resource preservation. And of course, while targeting around 7 SDGs or Sustainable Development Goals, our second goal ourselves is to provide tech for everyone, because meters are not always affordable and not always accessible. So we want to provide a simple solution that allows the user to himself track his consumption, not only the utility, the government utility, at a price which is not very expensive, knowing that we offer a free plan. And as I mentioned, the user can win a smart meter for free. Our third goal is to provide user friendliness. So as I told you, the user installs the meter himself and he gets the data on his own mobile phone. And of course, we have a lot of improvement opportunities, and mainly an opportunity of including AI into analyzing the user behavior and consumptions in order to provide better suggestions. So here I am, Jose Mallah, an electrical and electronics engineering student and the founder of Aquatricity. We have been through a lot of competitions and innovation exhibitions. I can cite the NDP YLP and the MITR Conference 2020. And we hope to be able to continue with this project to become even friendlier towards our mother. Let us put hand in hand in order to achieve this goal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jose. Very well done. Judges, we can start with Mahdi. Would you like to start?
Thanks, Sarah. the idea, of course, the problem is very well articulated, and it's a problem that we all better try and find solutions to. You outlined the competitors that you have. Have you figured out, how have you figured out what your target market, your total achievable market is? Have you figured that out, what your total revenues might be?
Yes, in fact, we did a calculation for the TAM, and it was revealed to be around $15.4 billion, which is surprisingly a big number. But in fact, we considered that people who basically own a mobile phone and can use it, and of course Android users, because the first version will be for Android, and mainly the age categories which we target in particular are on one side school students, which will use this application for environmental awareness, and on the other part we have another category of users who will be interested in the IoT-based system, and which are mainly youth, of course. So those who want to make an influence on their parents, or are looking to construct their own houses, so they are young people.
Okay, so just briefly tell me, how did you calculate your TAM?
Yes, so currently in the world we have around 3 billion Android users. Out of them, of course, you have a lot of elderly and a lot of children, so you have to subtract them out. And then I forgot how I did the calculation, but this is basically based on age and age categories.
Okay. So let me just quickly ask, did you do it sort of top down or bottoms up, the calculation?
Yes, top down.
Okay. My suggestion would be do it bottoms up. Top down is very dangerous to do. It gives you, it may exaggerate what TAM you can actually have, but just a thought. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mahdi. Thank you, Jose. And now Rudy will be asking and commenting.
Yeah. Do you mind just walking with me on your AI or IoT model that was integrated a little bit? Tell me more information on the technical perspective.
Okay, so basically the meters, which is the hardware, are the devices that use IoT. So you have the smart meter. It has a microcontroller inside, and of course the sensor. So it's easier for the flow in case of water, and for current and voltage in case of power, obviously. And so you have also to connect it to Wi-Fi mainly, and so we are connected to some online platforms, and from the online platforms you can transfer the data onto Google Sheets, where our algorithms would actually take the work and make the comparisons and etc. So yeah, the meters are connected to the internet, and
they are not using a direct AI model in terms of direct AI. You're using something else to aggregate data from there, make sense of them, and then from there go to. Do you mind explaining that part?
Okay. So what I was trying to explain is that the meters implement IoT directly, not AI. So currently, the algorithms we have in mind do not implement AI. But as I said, there is an opportunity to integrate AI in order to analyze the user behavior. And
have you thought also of the house's devices with 4G, 5G, later on 5G, of course, but GSM integrability?
Yes, of course. We thought of this, especially when we consider the fact that perhaps when you install the meter, you might be in an area where you don't have Wi-Fi connectivity, and therefore this might be the only solution.
Interesting. I double on Mehdi's comment. Take a bottom up approach on your numbers, because it makes sometimes more sense. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rudy. Thank you again. Dr. Mona now will give her comment.
Yes, hi Jose, it's nice to finally see you pitching. So basically, I have a question, like why did you decide to reinvent the wheel and do smart meters yourself?
Okay, so as I mentioned, imported meters are a bit expensive, and we have to import them anyway. So why don't use other techniques that actually can save on the budget, reduce the cost, and perhaps use local skills. So you could employ some interns locally and do the stuff themselves. Mentioning that we don't need huge production facilities because the techniques are very simple. And the assembly of the microcontrollers and these electronics is not something very tedious. So why not provide a solution ourselves, which would reduce the cost, would help us generate profits, and would also be beneficial to the user, which will have to pay less.
So I just want to comment on that. So you have a big assumption, which I'm not sure if it's true, that you will be able to do them at a cheaper cost and be able to sell them at a cheaper price. So you have to revisit this thing because, I mean, we all know that China is sort of very competitive on producing cost-effective, electronics, whereas Lebanon this is not our thing. It's not our strength. So just make sure you revisit this. And even if you are determined to create or produce smart meters locally, which could be a good thing, maybe if not, at this point of time, maybe in the future, I would suggest that you start using off-the-shelf smart meters and testing your app. So don't wait, don't keep waiting until you have smart meters yourself to start testing your product with real people, with real clients, because you have a lot to learn. So make sure you start testing even if you had to use off-the-shelf smart meters at the beginning. So this is my input on this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Muna. Mr. Gabriel, would you like to ask?
Yes, please. I didn't understand exactly your business model. So practically, how do you make money?
Okay, so I'll exit full screen. Okay, so as I mentioned, we will have a free and a premium plan. The difference between them is that when you are using the free version, you have to go through the app, get the tips, and collect points. And so then we will check every period. So like 20 days or 30 days, the number one person on the leaderboard, and this person would be awarded a smart meter for free. So basically, when you start using the application, you have no hardware at times. You just have to go through the awareness raising part. While premium subscribers who pay a small amount per month, which is in fact will amount up, for example, at the end of the first year, will amount up to the price of the meter they are using. So the difference is that these premium users, once they commit to use our solution for a year, for example, they will get their meter at time 0, and they will keep paying the subscription later on. So obviously, the free users.
How much is the subscription? How much is the subscription?
It's not very high, so
how much is
$4 maximum?
You don't have an exact number for the subscription?
I told you $4 a month.
$4 a month. Okay, I didn't hear you. Excuse me. Okay. And how many users are you expecting first year, second year?
For the first year, we are expecting around 600 users. The second year, of course, a bit more, around 1,700, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. And have you calculated your break-even point? At what time would you break even?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, as we have been trying since I started accuracy, I have been trying to minimize the costs to the maximum and do whatever I can do myself. So, If I could manage to get an application developer to join the team and so do this for free and become part of the team, I will need like a few months or maximum 1 year in order to break even. But in case I have to pay for the application myself, this of course might differ the break-even points for a few years.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Jose, I just want to add a question. Did you come up to a price of the device? Just want to add to Dr. Muna's question. Did you come up with a price of the device? How much does it cost?
Yes. So I did the calculation of all the parts that are needed, and I also counted for 3D printing for the cover of the meters, which might be a bit expensive, and we could maybe find cheaper solutions. But even going for 3D printing and all the parts that are included, you might come up with a total of around $25 per meter, and which means if I sell it for 30, would be great for me.
But you're gonna be
It's a small profit
somehow,
margin.
you know, your margins. If I take the projections that you did for the next 2 years, it's $8,400 minus, of course, expenses, and now you got, you add that because you're gonna be giving it for free with the subscription with $4, which is $48 a year, and then the device cost is around $30 plus minus. So I would really advise you to go back to the advice that Dr. Mena gave and check out the pricing and the device and how much you can really enhance the price of the device to make it really competitive. Maybe another device is cost less, already available in the market. So that means your model can make better percentage.
Thank you.
But great idea, and keep on trying.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rudy. Again, thank you, Jose. I think also Dr. Carol has a question.
Hello, Jose.
Hello.
Thank you for your presentation and for the idea behind it. I have one question regarding the collected data gathered from the smart meters. Where are you going to store them later on if you need to apply some AI algorithm on it and to analyze them? And if you choose this storage or solution, how would you add the cost on your existing now solution? Did you think about it?
Actually, no, not yet. So, because it is far from being released, so we want to start with the other part. And so integrating AI, we haven't really made predictions about how much it would cost and how it would change the business model.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Jose. Very well done. Thanks also for all the judges. Now we're going to have a speech with Nesreen El-Turki. Nesreen will give us a speech before we continue the pitches. Nesreen will be talking about the AI and IoT for beyond 5G. Nesreen is a professional engineer and a professional speaker at the World Leader Summit. She is the founder and the CEO of Internet of Trees, which is a tool to allow fruited trees to survive. Nesreen is also a senior lecturer at Notre Dame University in Lebanon. I'm sure that Nesreen's expertise will bring a lot. Nesreen, the floor is yours.
Thank you for this great opportunity. I'm very happy to be here. Let me share my screen. Just 1 minute. Sorry for the technical problem.
No worries at all. Nisreen, you are still on mute.
Okay, so can you see my screen? Okay, cool. So basically, we are on the edge of an exciting leap in innovation that is changing the very base fabric of our society. 5G and IoT technology is more than a new generation of wireless technology. It's a game changer. It enables more stable, more secure connectivity that's advancing everything from self-driving to smart grids to AI-enabled robots. In the past, we used to imagine a world where we can control things or receive data 24/7 remotely from a country to another. We used to imagine like ordering groceries for delivery before we run out of items, and that's what's happening right now. Now, it's time to imagine that I can send not only a video file or an audio file, but I can send and receive a touch and other senses like smell, like taste. And that, to create fully immersive experiences, it's necessary to include several senses in our communication. I will start with an overview of the evolution of mobile communication. And the first iteration, 1G, was all about voice. The second 2G was about voice and texting. Actually, in parentheses, it's where I started my first IoT project before IoT popping up. I remember I was a very little kid and I was in school. I had a very old Nokia with a vibrator inside. So what I did is like I removed the vibrator and I connected an LED, and I was able to remotely control the LED in my room while using the 2G generation. Later on, 3G evolved, and web browsing greatly expanded possibilities for the IoT, and invention took off. Along came higher speed data and video streaming for 4G. And 5G will be even faster. It will be fast enough to download a full video HD movie in seconds. But 5G is more than that. It represents a fundamental change in the mobile communication, unleashing a powerful combination of extraordinary speed, expanded bandwidth and low latency, and increased power efficiency that is driving billions of more connections in the next years, and changing, of course, our world. It's evident that IoT became an integral part of our economy and lifestyle. IoT has proved to improve people's life standards. And 5G and IoT will enable us to control more devices remotely, an application where real-time network performance is critical. For example, if you have a heavy machinery in a hazardous environment, thereby improving work safety and remote surgeries. IoT has great potential. Its benefit a wide sector like smart cities, smart building, environment, agriculture, etc. There will be more than 75 billion IoT devices by 2025. And as we move beyond 5G, we are migrating towards an AI native ecosystem. That is a system operating on AI, which is operating in an ad hoc, we can say in an ad hoc fashion. So, novel technologies are planned to be implemented by 2030. They are expected to be able to satisfy the future requirements for our society. In this presentation, I will be showcasing 4 potential use cases. The first one, the XR, which is the extended reality. And of course, we have also the holographic teleportation. The extended reality, XR, It consists of VR, which is the virtual reality, AR, which is the augmented reality, and MR, which is the mixed reality. This application goal is to immerse the user in a seamless experience. They require an extremely high data rate, and such systems have a lot of sensors, for example, helmet, gloves, etc. So that's why they need continuously connected seamlessly to ensure a high quality of services and quality experience for the user. HTC is an example where remote participants are projected into a location to render local users into remote location for remote troubleshooting. And for HTC to become a reality, it requires the transmission of an extraordinary amount of data. Unlike video, it does not only depend on the color, depth, and resolution. It requires a much volume of data. So, for example, we need the degrees of freedom, tilt, angle, position, etc. We also have the Industry 4.0. All the industrial systems are striving to become fully autonomous, and to reach this full autonomous, millions of bidirectional sensors are required to be deployed. Other measures to ensure the predictability of large-scale systems are the digital twins. Digital twins not only mimic the physical twin, but also aim to predict any hazardous damages that will happen in the system in the near future using, of course, AI algorithms. Digital twins is characterized with trustworthiness so that engineers can rely on the remote control of the physical system by manipulating its cyberspace countermodel. We also have the CRAS, which is the autonomous driving vehicles and drone. And to ensuring an autonomous driving capability necessitates a system that can operate in a real-time fashion or can operate with a human intelligence that's more attentive amidst hazards. Consequently, in order to ensure the future vehicles are equipped with full autonomy, multiple sensors need to be deployed that allow these vehicles to communicate with their neighbors and with their wireless systems deployed. AI, of course, AI mechanisms need to govern such vehicles to ensure that they are autonomous. And to conclude, I will introduce, of course, the end-to-end networks and talk about the precision farming and connected agriculture. To ensure the continuity of wireless services in rural areas and primary unreachable areas, beyond 5G systems are aiming to become interconnected with end-to-end non-terrestrial networks. In other words, sensors shall be connected to terrestrial base stations that are further connected to satellites to ensure that no breaks in the service occur. And I would love to mention my startup IOT, which we are proudly Lebanese, and we signed in partnership with Touch, and we are working with the IOT technology in Lebanon. And we started about the last month by working and connecting our services to satellite IoT devices. So in this presentation, I tried as much as I can to include the 4 potential use cases that will happen in 2030. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nisreen. That was great and a great overview about what's going on in the tech world. And the last message that having a startup such or a business such IoT, which is becoming international, is a huge motivation for Lebanese potentials. So thank you again for this speech. And we wanted from this speech exactly to inspire the Lebanese potential that they can do it. And they can be international businesses in the fields of IoT and AI. Thank you again, Nisreen.
Thank you.
Thank you. After Nisreen, we are going to continue our pitches. Thanks again for Nisreen and Turkey for this great talk. And now we will move to Event Pro with Ali Sharaf and Mizam Mhanna. Ali and Nizam, please feel free to share your screen, and the floor is yours.
Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you to EventPro. Starting with the inspiration why we started this startup is the fact when we shifted into online education with the COVID pandemic, a new type of discrimination existed, which is digital exclusion. Digital exclusion is the fact that students with certain disabilities, such as physical and cognitive disabilities, are being digitally excluded just because of their disabilities. And as a matter of fact, according to the UNICEF, 65 million primary and secondary students and at least 120 million adults were digitally excluded by the year 2020. So we decided to check the platforms that are already in market and being used. Thus, we concluded that none of the platforms is accessible. Accessible meaning wise, they do not have all of them support the fact that a live assistance, auto captioning, and the live text to sign language translation. Thus, we decided as a startup to interfere in order to have our own solution for digital exclusion. So what we do is, as EventPro, is we take the live video transmission from Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Cisco WebEx, and we add our accessibility features with the unique virtual design. So what we do is we take the video transmission, we add the live text to sign language translation, the auto captioning, even the inclusive graphic design in order to maintain the people with cognitive disabilities to have the perfect experience, and the virtual assistants. Moreover, starting with our project time track, we expected to launch our product, our website in the next few weeks into testing field, followed by a companion mobile applications with the period of 2 to 3 months into testing field. The reason why we decided to hurry up our startup and try to finish as soon as possible is the fact that the Lebanese economy is in a crisis. Schools that are specialized into special needs students are closing, and even schools are in a crisis. So the fact that we might stay into online education is still an option. So our competitors in the market are different, but none of them support the accessibility features that we have. Most of them are not compatible into both a website and a mobile app application. And concerning the cost, our startup aimed to start at a foreign country since our expenses are in US dollars. So we decided to start in UAE exactly to be a part of the accessibility plan, UAE accessibility plan in 2024, with the aim to be totally accessible by 2024. So we decided to start our startup offshores, followed by starting our startup in market. So in order to maintain the balance, in order not to charge the Lebanese schools in US dollars. Our team consists of 3 web developers, I myself as a computer science student, my colleague Hassan, and Ali Ghassani, which is a master's student at LIU. I'll be demonstrating a demo of our website. Okay, so share demo. Okay, so can you see the new screen?
Not yet, Ali. Yes, now it's shared.
Okay, so this is from our demo. This is a conference room where startups will be joining. This is where we have the live transmission. We also have the fair area, which we call it the event area. Just a sec. Yes, okay, so this is what's really unique about our startup is that we also support fairs and events. For example, we could also have a stand with a representative in order to maintain the contact between. We could also have multi-events operated at the same time. Stop sharing. Yes.
Can we start asking questions?
Sure. Thank you very much, Ali.
Thank you.
So Ali, thank you for that. I really like the idea, but I didn't get the exact solution from the demo, so I have a few questions. So is it just compatible with like virtual conferences? And then it seemed to be a visual kind of solution. And what about, visually impaired, for example, or the blind?
Yes. Okay. So concerning the visually impaired, our design is compatible with the WCAG, which is the WCAG recommends. We also have the live assistance, and all our pictures buttons will be labeled in case the user is using a screen reader. Concerning our solution is we take the live video transmission from Zoom, WebEx, it doesn't matter. We add our accessibility solutions, which are AI based, such as auto captioning. And what's also unique is we also have the live text to sign language translation, which is mostly common and used in market today, is the fact that they hire a translator and they broadcast her translation. Which is totally not as feasible as our solution, which also, because of the connection problems, sometimes the translator might lose track, and which causes a problem in following the sequence of the translation.
And is it just for virtual conferences? You didn't answer that part.
It's for virtual conferences and events, such as demo day, such as in case we had several fairs, or we could also host it, and it's also accessible.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Mona. Thank you also, Ali. Rudy, would you like to ask?
Yeah, sure. I just heard you talking about AI, but I did not see anything related to AI. Do you mind just sharing more information about the AI factor? And secondly, you also mentioned that such as demo days, how can, like for example now, how can we integrate? Do you have apps already started to be built on top of the Zoom platform, for example? Do you mind?
Yeah. So I'm gonna use an out of an experience. There was a demo day at EEB where startups had stands they used to sit in. So in case this was done virtually, we could have hosted it in our events area. So instead of having just like stands for different startups and investors, like opening it lacks the virtual user experience. It's not as virtual as it's be. And concerning the AI part, the auto captioning is AI based, and the translation. What we did is we translated the text that we have from the auto captioning into a sign language, which is a model that we're gonna train. We're still in the middle of either using an API for the sign language, or training a model which is somehow way more harder and within the short period of time we have. So this is our solutions that are AI based. There will be a delay between the text and the sign language, but it's way more feasible. It's not as dependent as having a real person translating on scene.
Yeah, and will it be subscription model, of course, what I assume?
Yeah, so yes, such events, such platforms differ depending on the amount of attendees. It would be on subscription based, approximate of $3,000. That's the cost that we came upon for offshores. However, for the Lebanese market, within the crisis of US dollars, of course, we're gonna be studying a cost, just a margin cost, that will be supporting the difference from the profit we're making offshores.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rudy. Thank you, Ali, also. Gabrielle, would you like to ask?
The second.
Okay, sure.
I have seen platforms that can handle events with very sophisticated features, such as mobile hop-in, مثلا. How do you compare yourself to those that are becoming today extremely popular and extremely performant?
Yes.
You haven't mentioned them in your competitors.
Yes, there's many competitors. However, none of them support the accessibility features that we have. Our platform is for virtual events and digital inclusion in order to maintain the accessibility features such as the sign language translation, the unique virtual graphic design that we are having. Other platforms are not as accessible as we are. We are following the WCAG requirements, which is in order to maintain the accessible features, in order to have in order to make it accessible for everyone, discarding if they have have a disability or not, and discarding their disability if it's visual impairment, physical, or even cognitive disability. For example, if the logo that we have is also accessible, so meaning-wise, the contrast of the text that we're using with the background is also matching with the WCAG requirements, unlike many other competitors.
Okay, how do you make money out of this?
Yes, out of month depending.
And how much?
Yes. Okay, so certain platforms charge per one person or even per event. So we decided to compare the prices. For if we started our startup offshores, we're gonna be pricing in US dollars, an approximate of $3,000, discarding the amount of attendees or even how many days the event is. The price is a constant price. However, in the Lebanese market, we're not going to be charging in US dollars.
Forget the Lebanese market. Your product is not for the Lebanese market. Your product is for the worldwide market.
Yes, including the Lebanese market. I mean,
forget the Lebanese market.
Yeah,
it's not a market. Okay, let's concentrate on the international market.
Yeah, we'll be charging. We studied the prices. We'll be charging an approximate between $2,000 to $3,000 per event.
Don't you think this is a little bit too much
overpriced?
مش overpriced, but it's not I mean, it's not customizable. I mean, because platforms that are less accessible than yours will charge for a 3 days event something like $800, for example, or something like that, and the organizer can pick and choose the features and then get the quotation. Charging a high amount, it's a high amount. It's not a small amount.
Yes,
it's a high amount, and sometimes you don't need all the features. So maybe to have features a la carte is much more interesting for your user, and maybe this is an exercise that you should do.
Yes, but the main focus of our startup, and we're focusing on our main target customers, are people that want to make accessible events, specifically even in schools.
How large this audience is? How large this audience is?
Our market is estimated to be by $18 billion.
Forget the $1 billion. The number of users, number of potential users, number of potential people who might be interested in your platform.
I don't have an exact number.
Okay. All right.
Yes. We do have potential customers such as Able Initiative in Beirut. We have the GAD Foundation. I was reached out by their founder after discussing my startup with him. Is also a potential customer.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabriel. Thank you, and thank you, Ali, for all of that. I think Mahdi also has a question now.
Thanks, Sarah. Yes, I do. Ali, looks like a good product. I have, instead of one question, 3 quick questions for you, and keep the answers short in the interest of time. 1, does your product work?
Yes.
And who have you tested this on? Who's used it? How many customers do you already have?
Yes, so far we're in the testing field. We're at the end of the development stage, and we're gonna be testing it within the next few weeks. Yes.
So when you say I understand. So when you say your product works, who are you going to use to see how well it works?
Yes, we're gonna see a foundation in Lebanon, Mada Foundation. I guess it's or the Amal Foundation. It's about special needs students that we're gonna be trying to test our product within, and we're also gonna seek professional help within the GAD Foundation. Mr. Jimmy Serra, he's the founder. He also approached, he was ready to help us test the product out of his experience.
Okay, and sort of taking a lead from what Gabriel had to say. What do you plan to do to prove to yourself that you can actually sell the product at the price that you want to sell it at?
Our price, our price is it's actually dependent on the amount of event. However, the margin is about $2,000 to $3,000.
Ali, yes. sorry to stop you. No. What I was asking was, how do you plan to test that your price point is the right point? Should it be 500, 800, or 3,000? Should it be per event? So how do you plan to test at what level to price your service?
Yes, we could. Okay, so depending if we used a API, we're planning to have a margin of a profit at least like 20% in order to cover the expenses, and the margin of profit is also to help us cover the needs of the Lebanese market.
Okay. I think one of the things you need to be able to do, and this is just a piece of advice, is to really test your hypotheses. There's a lot of assumptions a business starts with. Some are right, some are wrong, but you need to be able to test those. So my question really was, and you don't need to answer, my real question was not what is the right price, but how will you test what is the right price? Should you raise it to 10,000 instead of 3,000, or should you bring it down to 800? But you may want to think about how that is. The third and last question. I'm sorry, I'm hogging more space, but the third question is, how will you test as to what the growth potential of this is? Again, how will you test? Not the Excel projections. We can all do those, but how do you plan to test how big this is going to be? As Gabriel said earlier, it's really a global product. Mm-hmm. So how much would it scale? How much would your company scale? And how would you test what it could be?
Yes, so we have to at least start our startup. Our target market is UAE. They're planning their accessible plan. We're planning to be a part of it. So depending on the market, depending on the demand, we could actually know if our product is in demand, in real demand or not. There's also a study conducted by, we could also conduct there's also a study, it's based concerning our product is in demand market or not.
Okay. Thanks, Ali.
Excuse me, Mahdi, but I have to ask, to add on your question, you are contradicting yourself, Ali. You are saying that you are targeting the UAE.
Yes.
And 2 minutes before that, you say that your prices are customized to the Lebanese market.
No,
I want to understand.
Yes, I'm sorry, just for the confusion. Okay, so our target market is the UAE with this range price. However, we have a 20% profit margin in order to cover for the Lebanese market. Meaning-wise, we're planning to get the extra funds from outside in order to support the Lebanese market. The Lebanese market cannot afford to pay the price in US dollars.
Okay.
So Ali, I think, sorry if I may, I hope I'm not cutting you. I think this is a good point that's been brought out. I think, it may be okay to have loss leaders, but you really cannot have one market subsidizing the other market. So as I think was said earlier, if you cannot wash your face in Lebanon because the pricing is in dollars and you can't, so this product isn't really for Lebanon, and you should just focus on the markets that can afford it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Ali,
this is the idea.
Did you work out the price per event? What is your price per event?
Our cost is okay. So it still depends if we had to use an API for the text to sign language translation, the avatar.
Let's say with that.
Yes, with that, the cost is estimated to be if the event is for 2 days, at least 3 hours. The cost is $1,000, at least $1,000. Plus, we have the salaries of the employees as we're supporting a live chat support all over the process, and it also depends if they're only using the hackathon area or they're using the hackathon and the event and the fair area. The fair area is we're taking a multiple video transmission, which increases the cost.
You know what would have been in your presentation better is to create products, not just one bundle of products. You know, you want this, this is the price.
Yes.
You want this is the price. You want that, this is the price. The event is the
Exactly.
price.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because this way, I think it's better and clearer than just bundling them and then throwing them, because we can pick and choose,
Yes.
as Gabriel said also before. But this way, it's also same as, you know, any other platforms. It has bundles for different things.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Gabriel, Rudy, and Mahdi. I think this is really a great insight for Ali and for the team. Hassan Shukr, part of our speakers that will be joining us tomorrow, has also a question for you, Ali. So, Hassan, please feel free to ask.
Hello, Ali. How are you? I'm just, I really enjoy the idea, and I'm just going to give you a quick feedback. And I think this would help you with your business model. Instead of trying to become a venture for online events, you should look at your company as the Shopify of online events. So basically, whenever a new client comes in, he wants to rent a place or he wants all the facilities to create his personal events. The ability to add, just as the other panel said, just add specific requirements for their personal events, and you become a provider from an infrastructure IoT perspective to that space, instead of being so immersed within the bundle. Because what you mentioned is going to create an overhead. If the company kicks up, it's going to create a huge overhead on top of you. So for me, if you want to look at your business from a better perspective, just hire your infrastructure, use your infrastructure as the main asset, and allow the customer to choose what he wants to add or not. This would make the cost way less for you guys, and it will actually give the customer a flexibility to choose what kind of features does he have. This is the first point. The second point, really quickly, when you are speaking about your cost when it comes to the sign language interpretation, I'm guessing you don't own the engines and you don't have the CDN infrastructure to actually, you don't own it, basically, you're renting it, right?
Well, it actually depends. We're either in the opportunity of either renting one or using or training a model, but this is going to take a bit more period of time. So we have to train it using the letters, then the words, then the complex sentence structure.
My advice to you, try your best to, at this stage at least, because I've been involved in a streaming service before and I had a small job in a startup. That's why it's so interesting to me. Make sure that you own the technology, because not owning the technology at an early stage, not putting the basics out there, would make it a lot harder to create revenue on later stages, because your cost is going to remain high and your customer acquisition is going to be really, really, really high. Own the technology, make sure you give the customer the flexibility of choosing what he wants, and don't say it as I'm basically renting you a place. Try to make sure you want to do an event, great, we will give you the space. You have to sell the different booths. So you're taking away the overhead of who's purchasing. So if an organizer wants to sell a booth for $100, let them sell it for $100, so you get a fraction of that transaction. And for AI specifically, make sure you include some insights for that customer, like how many people came in, what's the age range. Try to make some AI on personalized AI, computational, ad-based, because data is money at the moment. That's the only thing I just wanted to add, and that was a great idea. Thank you for pitching it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hassan, for that. Again, Ali.
Thank you.
A great startup. Best of luck. Thank you again, all judges. And now we will move to the fourth startup. which is X Dimension with Elias Azzam and Joseph Dibe. That's the 4 out of 5. So Elias and Joseph, please feel free to share your screen.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Elias' sound is not clear.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not very clear. If you are using earphones.
Now is better. So
yes,
بزح لي معناش بنفتح على الاستديو على البي سي سو كرمال هيك اضطرينا نعمل هيدا الشيء يعني سوري. اوكي هو المبدا اللي بلشنا فيه بالاكس دايمنشن. اول شيء اعرف عن حالي. My name is Elias Azzam, physics teacher, and my partner is Joseph Dibi, is computer science. بلشنا الفكره من مبدا انه بلشت الكورونا وعم نعلم التلاميذ اونلاين، وصلنا لمرحله انه التلاميذ ما عم يقدروا يكونوا معنا هيك اتراكتيف، عم يروحوا يلتهوا، عم يطلعوا من الصف، عم يطلعوا من السيشن، عم نحاول نحكي الاداره مع المصلون. سو اضطرينا نعمل شيء نحمس التلاميذ لانه يبلش يشتغل على الاديوكيشن بارت تبعه ويعمل الاون دايمنشن له. وعلى هذا المبدا بلشنا اول شيء بالفوكسينج تبعه. اول بروتوتايب رح اعرض لكم الكاب ليعمل فوكس التلميذ. ويت اوكي. البروتوتايب كان مؤلف من كاب. كناية عن الكاب في حتى فولدبل فيها تكون كومباتبل مع ايتم. بس لحظة اتأكد اذا ماشي الكونكشن بس بليز.
يس يس
مبين انا بس كمان لانه الكونكشن كثير ضعيف ما بقدر نسمع.
يس
اوكي. بالنسبه للكاب هي كنايه عن فولدبل كاب. الكاب مؤلفه من بلاستيك. البلاستيك هو 3D برينتد عملناه وريسايكلبل بلاستيك. بقلب هذا البلاستيك في مثل باند في علق فيها الايتم اللي احنا عم نعرضه عليكم. هذا الايتم كنايه عن GPS تراكر. كنايه GPS تراكر اللي يحدد اللوكيشن تبعه. من بعد ما يحدد اللوكيشن تبعه التلميذ قادر يعمل لينك على البيت تبعه ويحدد الدايمنشنز تبعه بالاوضه، يحدد اللايتنينج، يحدد الميوزك اللي بده يوصل على البيت يكون مرتاح فيها، يعطي نوتيفيكيشن للاهل انه انا وصلت ليحضروا الغداء او ليسترعوه. بهذا المنطلق رح يتحمس التلميذ لانه يبلش يجي على التراك تبع الدرس. على هذا الاساس بلشنا بالبروتوتايب. عملنا الكاب كيعمل فوكس عليها. بيقدر يلبسها بهالطريقه. هيدي الكاب تعمل ليميتيشن للانجلز على السكرين او على الفون او حسب اذا على البوك كمان عم بركز. it is foldable. في يطويها اذا كان طالع من البيت فيها تكون مثل التنس. وكمان قادر التلميذ من خلالها يتحكم بالراسبيري باي كونكتد تو GPS سيرفر على الكاب، ومن وراها قادر يحدد الأوضة وكل شيء بحاجة له هو بالبيت. يعني قبل ما يوصل يكون كل شيء جاهز. يمكن يكون بحاجة هودي كلهم قادر الشخص يعملون من خلال ابلكيشن هنعرضها كمان عليكم. يحددهم قبل بوقت، بس يوصل بريجن معينه قريبه للزون اللي بده اياها بيقدر من خلالها يبلش السيستم لانش وبيقدر يتحكم فيهم كلهم. رح اترك الحديث لأستاذ جوزيف وهو رح يكمل الحديث عنه.
Hello everyone, I hope you're doing great. I will return back to my screen and share it with you. Just one moment, please. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, Joseph.
So, as you can see, the functionality of this simple project, which aimed always to help students and gamers and workers to focus more and deliver more efficiency while doing their tasks, will be mainly divided into these three parts. The first part, as you can see, the geofencing technology. This technology will help us tag the location of the user of the head, and before that, of course, he should be using the app to record the tasks that will help him reach the comfort of his home. For example, let's say we are going to our home, and I have already reported my tasks to this head, 10th dimension, and told her to adjust the light dimming as I prefer and turn on my PC, prepare my hot water for my Nescafe, and then turn the music volume for, let's say, 20%. The geofencing will always tag and track my location. So once I'm close to my home, let's say, for example, in half kilometer, these tasks will be automatically generated and will start the process. After that, the Raspberry Pi will initiate commands and launch them accordingly. So when I got home, I will find everything is ready for me to work, study, to play, or whatever I need to do. So what benefits could a student have from such a product?
اوكي بس بدي اعطي مثل ريمارك صغيره انه قادرين نستخدم during exams. سو التلاميذ هن عم يعملوا الاكزام بيلبسوا الهات لما ينقلوا من بعضهم، لانه كثير عم نعاني بهذا الشيء، لانه ما بيكونوا اصلا مهيئين للاكزامز، لهيك نوع من الاكزامز. هذا الشيء بحفزهم وبحسسهم شوي بالفتره اللي كنا نحن نتعلم فيها، خاصه انه انا مانيش كثير بعيد عن المدرسه يعني، وبس انه عانينا كثير انه كان في مراقبه ثقيله. هلا صارت الاساتذه اخر همها تلاميذ وفحوصاتهم اونلاين بيعملوا اياهم استاذ وهالقصص كلهم. سو اكيد رح نرجع على المدارس اذا الله راد. على هذا الكونسبت رح يكون فحوصات حضوريا، وعلى هذا الاساس رح يكون لابس التلميذ كاب مع ايرفونز مع ميوزك من بيتهوفن مثلا، بتقدر تساعده ليقدر يركز اكثر. بعض الدراسات بتاكد انه بيتهوفن بيساعد على البلانتس ليتطوروا، سو اكيد بيساعدنا لو روقنا كلاسيك ميوزك. سو during exam في يكون عم يسمع نوع من كلاسيك ميوزك، وهذا كله controllable by the Raspberry Pi and the geofencing GPS ليقدر يعمل تراكنج انه هو صار بالمدرسه ويبلش اللانش تبع الميوزك. وخاصه كمان بس نوت صغيره انه اذا عم نعمل مثلا خصوصي اكزامز مثل لانجويج عم نسمع فويس بقلب اوضه، عم يكون الصوت كثير بعيد، التلاميذ ما عم تقدر تركز، ما عم تقدر تسمع مضبوط الصوت. سو بهالطريقه كل حدا عنده هذا الديفايس بيعمل الفحص، واكيد الايرفونز هن كونكتد على نفس السيرفر، so that we can connect all of them الريكورد اللي بدنا نسمعهم اياه. Thanks.
Yes. Okay, so it's good to mention always that whatever we progress with technology, the technology will never replace great teachers, and it should be placed in the good hands, so it will give the maximum efficiency. So before your questions, I'd like to show you a little demo for the product itself. We already prepared it, so you can see closely. One second, please. Okay. Okay, and here's another presentation for the application that we didn't build yet, but that's how it would look like.
Small demo.
That's a small demo of it. As you can see, you can control everything in every room, basement, bathroom, garage, hall, kitchen, your living room, turn your light and the ambience of the music and the temperature of the room as you need and as you like.
We know that انه موجود هيك سيستم بالعالم واكيد في الهوم اوتوميشن موجوده بس نحن حبينا انه نخليه سبيسيفيكيت للتلميذ او للجيمر على قوته يعني مثل ما كل جيمرز اذا عم يلعب على البي سي بحاجه ليكون فوكس بحاجه يعرف نوتيفيكيشن اذا التويلت از افيلبل سوري على الكلمه بس على التواليت سو هودي كلهم لازم يعملهم هو خاصه انه هلا الجيمرز عم بفوتوا كثير بعالم ونحن هلا فتنا كثير بعالم الجيم سو بهالطريقه في يكون البروجكت موجه للجيمرز للوركرز ان لارج سبيس يعني قاعد بالبيت قاعد باللايبرري قاعد مع رفقاته ما بعرف بده يركز لحاله يلقط الفكره سو بهالطريقه قادر يتحكم بكل شيء حواليه بأوضته عم نحكي بس او بالمكتب تبعه او بالمدرسه هو كلهم لينكد على different raspberry pi and different IP that we can send by Arduino the location like altitude and located them ومن وراها بدنا نحن نوصل لهذه الفكره.
Thank you very much, Elias and Joseph. Thank you for your pitch and for showing us the video and the demo for the app. We would like to go now to the judges. Judges would like to ask first. Mehdi, please go on.
Yes, thank you for that pitch. I didn't get all of it, I must admit. And I have one question, I guess. Is this product really needed? I lost some in the language because I don't speak Arabic, unfortunately. But is your product actually needed?
I think it's needed very, very much. Why? Because we all teachers and we experienced the lack of focus from the students. And whenever you are teaching online nowadays, students can be manipulated with their parents or maybe with their mobile phones and cell phones or any noise, if you can say that. So this CAT will help you only focus on your screen where your teacher is explaining your lessons and giving you the tips and requirements. Also, you can use it as a worker. You can go to your desk, put the CAT, and tell her to automate every task you need to be done automatically, from music to lighting to ambience to temperature to anything else.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mehdi. Thank you very much. Rudy, would you like to ask?
Yes. Did you test the product on people to get the feedback?
Actually, the product is not completed yet. We have the prototype. The CAT is, as you can see it, is already built via 3D printing. We measured all. We put all the measures manually. So we created it. The Raspberry Pi or the Arduino that will be used on it is currently implemented. We will reach out to many engineers and web developers so we can build the application and the system of it, and which will be mission-based.
Yeah, but I also advise you to start testing on the product from user experience perspective. Okay, so maybe because I felt I will never wear it. You got me?
Why?
That is my feeling. Again, maybe other judges or maybe other people, you know, they will or they won't. But that was my feeling. I cannot wear such a thing. So I want you to do further testing on not just on the idea is okay, but do it on real gamers. I was speaking with my friend, dear friend. There's, you know, do it on the gamers, do it on, because I think you're also mentioning gamers, and do it on anybody. You do it on students. Will they be able to, you know, try that also, please?
اول بس لحظه فكره دكتور. الفكره اللي صارت انه انا اونر للسنتر وجربته على تلميذ على اكثر من تلميذ. اول شيء كانت الفكره انه اكيد مضحكه وما شايفين هيك برودكت، وما كانت الفكره انه هيك سلسله معه، يعني حس حاله انه غلط. بس يمكن اذا كانوا كل التلاميذ لابسين نفس الهات وكنت انا عامل كنترول على كل اوضه على كل روم، عم بعطيه الليسنز عم يسمعها باوضته لحالها. المشكله انه انا عم نعاني انه من اللوكيشن، وعم نعاني من الضجه اللي حواليه، وعم بيعاني امه دوره الهوفر، امه علت صوت تبيه على صوت تي في. سو بهالطريقه هو رح يكون فوكس بالدايمنشن اللي هو بده اياه. يعني اكيد ما رح يمشي بشخص قاعد بمكتب لحاله، لانه اوريدي حاطط كل شيء مثل ما هو بده. في يعمله على السمارت ووتش او على الفون، في يعمل مثل هوم اوتوميشن للروم تبعه، منه بحاجه للكاب. بس اذا كان بروم فيها كثير اشخاص اكيد. ثانك يو.
Thank you very much. Rudy, if this answers your question, I would go to Gabrielle. I think Gabrielle also has a question.
مش الحال رودي، بدك تسأل بعد؟
لا go ahead
أنا موافق مع رودي. أنا ما بلبسها هيدي. I will not wear this. Okay? But if you do something like عوينات, spectacles, with the same idea on both, maybe I will wear this.
As a VR?
لا مش VR أبداً. VR definitely I will not wear it. But glasses, عوينات, with the shield on each eye, maybe I can wear this. And it will be easier, yeah, something like this. بس على كل حال I find your product very badly positioned. يعني in terms of target audience. This is not a product for only students and gamers. This is something that anybody who's working in a public place or in a shared environment, anybody can use. Okay, a lawyer can use it, a doctor can use it, a patient can use it, a business person can use it. Anybody can use it. Okay, so positioning it as a solution for students to give them more incentives to be concentrated on their work because his mother is doing a Hoover. This is not good positioning. Okay, you should think about it as a multi-purpose, multi-users oriented thing. هذا واحد. اثنين, how do you solve the problem of امك مدورة الهوفر? With this, it's important. You are telling me something that it doesn't. ما بيركب بالعاد. إنه the solution for this is to put things in your ears, okay, and listening it to whatever, and stopping the sound around it. It is not a question of focusing on the screen. Okay, so don't bring this argument as an argument. إنه أوضة وفيها ضجة وفيها ناس, and you are asking the students to be concentrated on their screen using this only. In my opinion, it doesn't fly. Okay, هلا, is it interesting? Have I seen something like this before? Not much. So this is why it's interesting. It's interesting because it is something new. The home automation part is known. What I don't understand is why are you using something as expensive as an Arduino? Why aren't you using just small sensors or stuff like that? And with tools to process the information coming from the sensors on a desktop or a laptop or even on the cloud. Why are you using a tool as expensive as an Arduino وبياخد محل وعرفت كيف وبده باور؟ It's not. This is not. يعني I don't think this is feasible.
Okay.
So what is the answer on? I asked several questions. Okay. I'm sorry. بس إنه فرد مرة.
اوكي ميرسي. اول شيء مستر جابرييل بالنسبه لليونات اللي حكيت عنه اكيد جربنا الديمو تبع اليونات بس التقل تبع الكاب ليقدر يغطي الوجه عم بيخلي اليونات يقرب لقدام. اوكي بنزيد له حيلا ايتم زياده بيصير بده ينعمل بيلت ان من قلب اليونات اللي عم يشتري شخص. يعني اذا واحد بيلبس اليونات اوريدي سو ما فيه يستعمل الهات اذا بطريقه اللينات. هذا هو كان الجواب على هذا البارت.
No. This is not an argument. لأنه you can do something that will plug in on the glasses. You can do something that will plug in. من بالسبعينات كانوا يلبسوا عوينات ويحطوا فوق منهم عوينات شمس يعني يعلقون. You can do the same with something extremely light. You can do the same.
Okay, we will think it about. Second, about Arduino and Raspberry Pi. I'm a Raspberry Pi programmer. That's why I think about this part, and I don't know like too much about items. I search about like these items, and I didn't find it in Lebanon. Like 10C Arduino is small and don't need too much weight. يعني هو ما رح يطلع من البيت حامل معه هات وحط على راسه كل هالتقل بيوقف يركز. يعني هذا كانت الفكره. فينا كمان حبيت اعطيتنا فكره انه فينا يلبسها مثلا لما تكونش هات يكون محطوطه مثل باند على ايده وبيكون في بقلبها GPS وبيرجع بيشيل الGPS بحطها بجيبته بيلبس الهات. هيدي الفكره اللي اكيد طرحتها كثير حبيتها وهلا طلعت معي انه تكون الهات كنايه عن باند بحطها بايده بيرجع بيشيلها وبيستعملها. الGPS بحطها بجيبته.
Gabriel, you are muted.
What about the target audience? The first thing I told you is that the positioning of the product is, you are positioning it for students and gamers, and I think it is, it can be useful for much more categories of people.
So we actually mentioned that everyone can use it, but mainly from our experience as teachers, we thought about this project over the experience.
Sorry.
It's okay. So I was saying that mainly based on our experience as teachers, we thought about this project as teachers for the students that aren't focusing on their online classes. Of course, it can be used by any doctor, lawyer, engineer, or anyone that would like to work in a crowded space, in a crowded environment, so he may focus more. And concerning the Hoover part, we also forgot to mention, that one must excuse us. The cap will be equipped with a Bluetooth device or Bluetooth earphones already clipped to it that will automatically synchronize the data with your already registered data on the application.
قد ايه صار حقه هالبرودكت؟ قد ايه صار حقه اذا هالقد ما نحط له اشياء؟
انه غالي كثير غالي.
ما بالنسبه لحتى التكنولوجيا اللي وصلنا لها نحن البرودكتس اذا بدنا نحسبه كبرودكت كامل مع GPS مع راسبيري باي والاردوينو رح ننتبه انه هودي وعنده 8 تاسك بده يعملهم. تقريبا بين ال $151 بلا الايرفونز. الايرفونز اوريدي هو عنده اياهم مع البي سي مع الجيمرز، يعني حاطط هيدسيت خصوصي له. سو البارت اللي عم نحكي عنها انه في ايتمز عنده اياهم بالبيت نحن قادرين نتحكم فيهم، يعني مش انه رح يشتريها، يعني رح يشتري هو الراسبيري باي مع السيستم، رح يشتري الهاتس مع جي بي اس وهوديك نحن بنعمل له بروجرامينج عليهم.
ما بعرف. Okay, with this kind of target selling price, this is the cost of your يعني.
This is the cost, yeah.
Yes.
Selling price.
This is the cost. قد ايه بدنا نبيعه؟
جوجل جلاس وصل حقه لل $400. كان فينا نبيعه نحن للمدارس بسعر $170. بنربح بالايتم الواحد 13 بحدود ال $19 على عدد 100 تلميذ بنربح $1900. اذا بنزيد عدد الاشخاص وغير مدرسه اذا عم نحسب سكيل كثير كبير مثل ما حضرتك تفضلت مش جابرييل، بتصير عم طلع انكم حتى لو حطينا ربح بس $2 كان فينا نوصل الفكره لكل العالم.
It doesn't work, man. This doesn't work.
Why?
لأنه and you are talking about the Lebanese market. Forget about the Lebanese market. Nobody will have $400 to pay for this, or whatever, or $150. Nobody, because if they pay this, the people who need this, actually they need a tablet, and they don't have $100 or $150 to buy a tablet in Lebanon. So your target market is not Lebanon. Please forget about this. Yani, this is a biased economy. You cannot forecast anything in Lebanon. This is something that you have to sell in other, yani, all over the world. And all over the world, you need to have production facilities. You need to produce your things in China to reduce the cost. And you need to add the cost of shipping and the cost of and the margin of the distributors. And فتوا بلعبة يعني it's
manufacturing أكتر من ما هي بس
manufacturing and distribution. The distribution and the marketing will cost you much more.
That's right.
So it is not feasible. It's not feasible. Haram to spend your efforts. This is a very good idea, by the way. It's a very good idea. It's very interesting. But you need to first position your product to a certain market, okay, and then really study your cost structure, because your cost structure as it is now is not feasible. And study your go-to-market strategy. How are you going to the market? Direct selling, online selling, marketing, advertising, distribution, retail stores, Alibaba, AliExpress. This is how you are going to sell this product. Otherwise, it will not fly. Okay?
اوكي فينا بس شغله في كمان هلا مثلا فينا نعرضها بالاسواق على التلاميذ بسعر $6 بس الكاب اللي هي هلا اذا نزل الدولار مثل اليوم سو في يشتريها.
Forget about the dollar. Don't tell me about dollar and Lebanese market. خلص forget about the Lebanese students. عم نجرب نشتري لهم pads ب $100 ونعطيهم هن free of charge. Forget about this. This is not your market.
صحيح.
Go to where the people have money to pay. Go to Saudi Arabia. Go to the UAE. Go to Turkey. Go to where the people can afford to buy this. Lebanon, شرفكم. Thank you. I'm sorry, but I have to tell you this way. You have to understand. Forget Lebanon. $6 و$4 وبنربح $2. بدك تربح $2. Come on.
Thank you, Gabriel, for that.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I know Gabriel is very keen to make this startup work, and I know that Elias and Joseph are also happy about this feedback. So thank you again. We still have just Dr. Carol for the sake of time, and we still have one more team. Dr. Carol, would you like to ask your question before we move to our last team? So, Dr. Hello. Carol, yes.
Yes, hello. Thank you for your presentation of your idea. I just recommend you something. You said about the main idea is to enhance cognitive system of student. I recommend you to ask pedagogue and psychological team about the impact of this closing hat. will يعني we are narrowing more and more student vision. يعني I feel it will not help them in focusing. It will help them to become more individual and how do I
قصدك الاشخاص اللي عندهم اوفر اكشن، يعني مثل التلاميذ اللي ما بيركزوا كثير، سو يمكن بيقدر يساعدوا ليفوت بالجو بقوة خصوصي مع
psychological people and pedagogue، لأنه it might have a good impact and it might have bad impact. يعني كمان هون you have to choose who is the target of your product from إذا بدك أكتر health mental health.
yes. مظبوط. يمكن هذا الشيء لازم نطلع فيه، لأنه في ناس cannot cope with such technology and to narrow their vision and focus for long hours.
يعني nowadays we are more going into individualism than community. يعني عم تساعدوا أكتر هالترند individualism وبطل فيه sharing with people around us وهال community aspects I don't know. I recommend to think about it.
لا ميرسي، بالعكس معك حق 100%. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Carol. I think also on a personal level that this is a great point to mention. Yes, it's very important to take it into consideration. In all cases, I think that the teams are very lucky to have such judges. So thank you on their behalf. Yes. And thanks again for Elias and Joseph. A great idea again, another great startup. Now we are going to move to the last startup with us, which is CR Tech with Alam Shirkani, Michael Qassouf, and Jinan Zammar.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Yeah. Hello, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Allow me start sharing my screen.
Sure thing. Yes. You can share your screen, please. Yes. Okay, great. Yes, we can see the screen, Alain. It's shared. Please feel free to start.
Okay, so honorable jury and colleagues, today Michael, Alain, and I'll be presenting our idea, which is CR Tech. Before we start, we would like to introduce our team members.
Jinan, I think the screen is shared on the team members. If you want to continue, okay.
Okay, so what is CR Tech? CR Tech, which came from the word CR Tech or CR Tech,
basically means personalized vehicle embedded in technology. This startup doesn't only look into personalizing the driving experience, but brings safety into it. Computer vision into the automotive comfort is our solution. So different features we have of CR Tech, which brings to you is first face recognition, which adjusts your seat when you're about to drive. Second is eye monitoring in case a person is about to sleep or not. Third, which is CAPTCHA, solving for sober state confirmation. And last but not least, tuning variation of red and speed limiter for different drivers. We will explain more in the upcoming slides. So first, we're going to talk about how face recognition plays a big role into our comfort. First, so as we have different cars, different individual driving the same car, individuals tend to have different memory for the seats, in which, for example, I may be short and Ala may be tall. Okay, so I would need my seat frontward and with a different tilt of the back, and Ala would need it backward with a different tilt. So depending on which memory we saved when we first purchased the car, the camera would be able to face recognize which user is which and adjust the seat automatically.
All right. So now we're going to talk about seizure prevention. So it's going to be a customized
Ala, I think you are talking, but we cannot
for
hear
medical
you.
cases. So a series of actions will be linked to one's medical history and background. Hence, if one
I'm sorry, but we cannot hear you. If you want to turn off your videos because of the internet, and please repeat this idea because we couldn't hear anything.
Hello?
Yes, hello. You were disconnected, but we couldn't hear anything.
I'm really sorry. It's just that the connection. I'm on 3G actually, so
No
this is kind of weird. Okay, so should I go back to the previous slide? This one?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay. So a series of actions will be linked to one
Now we can't hear anything. I apologize for interrupting you, but we can't hear anything.
medical history and background. Hence, if one is expression. Hello?
Alain, are you sharing the screen from your own computer?
Yes.
Please let your colleagues share the screen from their computer, because it's the sharing the screen is taking your bandwidth.
Okay, just a moment, please.
Okay, take your time. Thank you, Gabriel. Okay, Alain, please feel free to continue.
All right, so I'm just gonna go for slide 6 again. Can you guys hear me well?
Yes, better. If it will continue, please, I would ask some of your colleagues to take this part.
Okay, so a series of actions will be linked to one's medical history and background. Hence, if one is epileptic, the facial detection sensor will signal seizure expressions and will automatically call for help or assist the driver to a safe exit. Next. All right, so your medical case is our concern. We have many medical customized plans for each driver with a registered medical condition. For example, epilepsy. You could have an absent seizure while driving. So our CRTech camera sensor would detect such episodes and try to safely bring the driver to a safe parking mode. About the anxiety disorder, panic attacks are very common during driving. I personally have the panic disorder, and I would love for a system to actually recognize and prevent such episodes. So our CRTech will have a built-in steering wheel sensor for heartbeats and will automatically detect any increase of heart rates, because one of the most popular symptoms for panic disorders are increased heartbeat. About dementia, so we will assist also dementia patients. The built-in map system and the voice assistant will automatically signal that the driver is going off route. Depending on the route change severity, the system will either call a close person to the driver for guidance or project destination affirmation using voice commands. This will usually help the dementia patient to actually stay focused to where they're going. You can go forward.
Okay, so this part of CRTech is in which when a person is driving the car, okay, and tends to feel sleepy, in which most of the accidents occur, we are using computer vision, in which if the eyelids close more than 3 seconds, this means that the driver is about to sleep. So in this part, the driver will be alarmed and the seat would then vibrate, in which the driver would have to wake up and realize that he's driving. Okay, so on the screen, it would lead them to a certain point, or just to park at the side in order to prevent accident.
Okay. Being sober is the best way to prevent accidents. Solving the human CAPTCHA is now inside your car. In case you park near a pub or a nightclub, you will have to solve a CAPTCHA to be able to start your car. Don't worry though, it will be enough to test if you are sober or not.
Okay, one of my favorite parts about face recognition is that the owner of the car can adjust the ECU of a car, into which he can put a rev limiter or speed limit into each and every driver. For example, if I'm the owner of the car and I'm a responsible driver, and Allah is not a responsible driver, which likes to, for example, reckless drive or likes just to hear the sound of the engine, this can be simply controlled by the ECU, in which you can put like a cut-off limiter to the RPM for about 4,000 RPM, or a speed limit to about 100. This really helps in preventing accidents.
All right, so you will be able to control your interface and your car using our remote application, in-car settings, or web app control for data entry. So all three will be available whenever we start implementing the application using Flutter and the website using React and all of that. So next slide, please.
So as we know, the main causes of death while driving known worldwide are mainly distraction, the speed, and being drunk as well. So our mission using CRTech is to put the driver's safety as our major priority.
Our vision would be to make the world a better place by making driving enjoyable and extremely safe using AI and preventive customizable measures for each driver. We want to thank you all for your time. This project was actually born due to a loss of a close friend of ours. He died in a car accident. So this one's for you, George. We love you. And thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you very much, team. That's really touching. Thank you very much for that. I hope that this will go somewhere because it's really based on a great need. Dr. Carol, I think you can start. You have a comment to share with the team.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Thank you for your presentation and for your idea. In fact, there is a network called Vehicular Ad Hoc Networks, and they provide safety applications for driving. I recommend you to check with it. Maybe you can integrate it directly within VANET networks. Okay, it's just a recommendation. I'm not going to ask you.
Okay, we will take this into consideration.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Carol. Judges who would like to go next?
I have a question.
Sure.
Thank you for your presentation. Who would pay for this product? I'm really hinting at who the users would be and who the customers would be. In my definition, a customer is somebody who will pay for this, although the user and the customer may not be the same. So who will pay for this product?
Okay,
installed in the car.
If I can, I'm gonna be responding. So basically the person or the company who's gonna pay for it will be automotive companies. This would be like a great magnet for customers. Like for example, if I'm a father and like I can't trust my son in which he starts driving at the age of 18, I can't fully trust him into how he drives by himself. So like I would like to put this kind of limit into him. I can't always be 24/7 under his guidance into checking if he comes home at 12 drunk or if he's sleepy or something. These are things that I guess sometimes get out of hand. So like parents and everyone wouldn't want to lose their lives into something like this.
If I may, I have a follow-up question and then a suggestion for you to look at. What's the price of this? What's the price point?
Okay, so we were starting our prototype. So we just started with it from the beginning of the summer, and we were learning more about AI and computer vision. So like we were putting a price for the prototype to introduce to maybe upcoming automotive companies. So like we were buying the NVIDIA Jetson NX or NVIDIA Xavier, which is the ranges from $300 to $700. Okay, with the camera. Okay, and I guess most cars already have electrical seats and what do you call that? Electrical seats and sirens inside of them. So like one of our greatest costs is just the NVIDIA till now. So like that will be ranging from $700 to $800 as a prototype. But of course, car companies have a better way of dealing with it for selling it later on.
Okay, so let me share a thought with you for you to explore. In most countries, in UK, for example, a lot of insurance companies, insurance is very expensive. Car insurance is extremely expensive. And particularly for young and new drivers, it's very expensive. I know I have two kids who started driving about 2 years ago, and it's costing me a lot of money to insure them. What insurance companies do is, as a way of reducing the insurance premiums so they can sell more insurance, is that they put these telematics devices in cars which track the driving behavior, and then they send you messages that you accelerated too fast, you braked too hard, you drove too far. My suggestion to you would be that have a relook at who would actually pay for this, and it may not be As I said, I'm not an expert in this area, but it may not be the auto manufacturers, because some of them at a particular price point of a car, they have these features: memory for seat adjustments and warnings if you're sleepy and so on. But I think you may want to look at marketing it to some of the newer insurance companies that use telematics and seeing what they've already got and see how you can enhance what they don't have and tweak your product that is aimed at insurance companies in Europe and the US.
Okay, noted. We're going to take this into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mahdi. Rudy and Gabriel, would you like please also to add your feedback or questions to the team? Gabriel, I think you're on mute.
Go ahead, Rudy. Come on.
Good idea. Just need to find a way to make it as a subscription, or to have that business model which is sweet, so everybody can actually tap into it. Dr. Mahdi's advice for insurance is very valid. The technology with the demo is nice. Good luck, guys. Just make sure that you come out to a price which is acceptable with the technology.
Thank you. Of course, we will keep everyone updated towards this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Gabriel, yes.
Yes. Anything related to car enhancement is actually extremely related to the car manufacturers. So what you are proposing is actually something that car manufacturers can develop in a couple of months, and they can just add it in their production cycle. Yani, what would prevent BMW, Toyota, and all the others to do exactly the same and embed it as a feature in their cars? Okay? Nobody. Yani, you can develop the best thing. They will take it, they will use it, and then they will make something exactly the same or much, much better and embed it in their cars. Okay, the idea of insurance companies using external devices is extremely interesting, as Dr. Mahdi said. But if people or companies or insurances or even car manufacturers are interested to buy from you, it's because you have a patent. It's because you have something technologically unique with a patent. Okay? Did you think about patenting anything? Is your product patentable?
Yes, just yesterday we were thinking about it. I was talking with Ala to reconsider this as soon as possible.
But I don't think your product is patentable. I don't think. All the features, unless you have some really very important technological advances, you have something that is that doesn't exist anywhere else in your AI algorithms, in your accuracy of the recognition of or the acquisition of data in the customer behavior. كل هيدا, if you don't have something that's extremely new and unique, you will not be able to patent, and it will take you too much time and it will cost you a lot of money. Okay? And this is a very risky product commercially. It's a risky product commercially. بعدين, if we are thinking about features like those are much more interesting to have in old cars, not in new cars. in cars where nothing happens, yani where they don't have any feature built in from the car manufacturer itself. And with old cars, you will have problems integrating with the car itself because it doesn't have probably all the features that you need to integrate, and you will have to add on things, and you will need to probably do interventions, yani go to the car yourself and make installations. So people will not be able to do the installations themselves. So this is why it's very risky. You have to think about يعني a positioning. ما بعرف شو هو. I don't have an answer. A certain positioning in order to increase the uniqueness of your product and be able to protect it somehow. And then you need to have يعني privileged relationships with insurance companies on a global level and car manufacturers on a global level. تعرفوا لكم شي حدا ببي ام دبليو بتويوتا غير كارلوس غصن؟
Yes, of course.
So you know people who can actually يعني sponsor you, help you and tell you, well, do this and that, we will buy it from you.
I was talking with executives about the concept, not yet just working on it. They were like, it's a really good idea since autonomous cars are kind of far from where they see themselves right now. So like implementing it in a car would like boost the level of purchase, because like, you know, all the cars are wide screens and all that. To have more options, especially in the artificial intelligence field inside the car, is something they would actually like.
So أنا my very quick advice. I'm not sure that this is something that is correct. Maybe it's important to concentrate on core technology. And don't do a full-fledged product. Do an algorithm. Do an algorithm that does better facial recognition or better heart rate measurement or something like this. And sell the algorithm itself. Patent the algorithm and sell it itself. I think this is it's embedded technology that you will be able to sell, not a full-fledged product. هيدي رأيي هيك very quickly.
Of course, we're going to take this into consideration.
And just think about it.
Yes, of course, we're writing it down.
Of course.
I just want to add to Gabby's. All cars is a big market. They will be here for a while. They will still be ruling the universe for a while. So you have to adapt something very affordable. I just also want to add another market, which is fleet trucks or shipment trucks or delivery trucks, also part of the offerings, because it's always somehow related also to the insurance part, other than the social responsibilities. Premiums on delivery trucks and so on is very high, and the fleets, and so if you can add more metrics using these in a simple way, any camera you can take the feeds and try to capture. That will be great. Just wanted to add that part also.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So logistics is like the new kind of thing we're gonna actually incorporate into our project. It's still in. We're still working on it, so it's very new. The
for
project.
Another presentation. Put it in the presentation as part of because when your business model you need different channels. What are the channels? What are the so put this as part of maybe your 2021, 2022. See how.
Definitely.
There's a startup. Well, it's not a startup now. They're quite successful. A company called Keep Trucking. And they do something similar in that it's designed for a logistics company to be able to bring safety features in. So you may also want to look at that company. It's called Keep Trucking.
Thank you. We will know that too.
Thank you very much, Mahdi. Thank you, all the judges, Michael, Alain, and Jinan. That was really great. And the most important is the growth mindset that you have. So best of luck. And there is another comment from Mahdi on the chat. You can please copy and keep it. Now we are almost done with the event. I would only ask the judges, please, to go to the breakout rooms in order to discuss internally what team will be the winner. In the meantime, for the team CR Tech, Hassan Shukr has something to add.
Hello, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Hello, guys. Hope you're doing well. I love the idea. I just have, like Rudy said, something that's on point when it comes to fleet management, and Dr. Mehdi as well said something that's on point when it comes to fleet management. You should consider the service to be a POSH service for all of the HR teams around the world that manage fleets, which goes into telecommunications, because you have all the different companies have their own fleets, they have to do maintenance, they have to do all of that, and they have to abide by the ISO, by the NIST, by the different safety regulations out there. So I think you should do that as an additional layer to be able to satisfy the ISO requirements for those companies, because once they get certified, they need some metrics that they are following all of the guidelines, certain speed limits, the seatbelt is always buckled in, and all of the different precautions. I think you should use those standards, those global standards, to be able to induct yourself or to be as an accelerator for these companies to understand the level of safety they have, the level of, if you want to say, like street safety or road safety, and making sure that your solution would get as much data as possible to be able to direct it towards these